Hello dear viewers, this is George from Ireland, and this video is about Boris Johnson and his chance of becoming Prime Minister. Now, BoJo had a real career highlight when he met me many years ago. He wasn't even an MP back then. But Boris Johnson is the Foreign and Commonwealth Secretary. As you may recall, just after Cameron lost the Brexit vote, he broke his pledge as usual and he stood down as Prime Minister. There was a Conservative leadership election. Boris Johnson threw his hat into the ring. However, Michael Gove backstabbed him. Boris Johnson didn't stand in the end. That's that. So his child ambition to be world king is not going to be realised, or so it seemed. Theresa May is Prime Minister. However, she's in trouble, having scraped through an election and having this constant drumbeat of negative publicity. Doesn't command the loyalty or respect of her party. So she says she'll lead the Conservatives into the next election, 2022, but that's a dubious claim. So BoJo, a Foreign Commonwealth Secretary, has distinguished himself by his disloyalty. However, May dare not sack him because he's too big a beast. I think it's the old, Lyndon Johnson saying that she'd rather have him inside the tent micturating out than the other way around. So BoJo obviously is determined to make his dream come true. He was a cannonball of a personality, known for his frequent gaffes, which were just laughed off, and he managed to get away with things that nobody else would, talking about cannibalism and sheep killing in Papua New Guinea. I can't think what else, that Spectator editorial. He didn't personally write it years ago, about saying the Liverpudlians are so self-pitying about Ken Bigley's murder and about the Hillsborough disaster and things like that. As he puts forth a deluge of ideas. Is this mental diarrhea? I don't know. But some of his ideas have been decent, like, he's against a third runway at Heathrow. However, an artificial island in the Thames estuary for a new airport was way too expensive, impractical, but it's just typically him, not thinking things through, being over-enthusiastic, thinking a bit too big, and being an egomaniac. So his prohibitively expensive ideas may not get off the ground. The Garden Bridge across the Thames, that was also ludicrous. Thankfully, Sadiq Khan has stopped it. However, in the past couple of years, BoJo has become a bit of a Prince Hal figure. He has matured, and he doesn't say very much, and what he says is sagacious. So is he becoming an elder statesman? So he's perhaps learnt to keep stum and do a passable impression of being a proper politician. He suggested a bridge to France as well as the tunnel. May not be such a daft idea. There are already at least 2 bridges in the world longer than that, and it might not be that expensive, just allowing more traffic. And the ultimate proof that Brexit does not mean the United Kingdom is severing links with Europe in any sense. So I suppose BoJo has got his eye on the ball. Brexit will be completed next March 2019. Then the new arrangements will be phased in over a year and a half. So as soon as Brexit is completed, the pressure on Theresa May to go will mount. However, if it goes quite well, Brexit that is, if the economy continues to grow, she might be able to stay on. Would she even lead the party into the next election? It's possible. But I suspect Boris has cleaned up his act because, again, he's got his eye on the main chance. He wants to be Prime Minister, and it's now or never. If he doesn't get it next time, then he'll be yesterday's man. Because he will have missed the opportunity, and this one is not going to knock twice. So he has his loyalists. However, people might be looking to a generation younger than him, those born in the 70s. He's not too posh. David Cameron proved that. Boris Johnson's got a lot of skeletons in his cupboard, but I think these ones are not going to come back to haunt him. I think people have been forgiven him for doing things like telling Darius Guppy where he could find a pesky journalist, knowing that Darius Guppy was going to go and beat that man up. That's way back in about 1993 when Boris Johnson was secretly recorded doing that. Now, he's certainly entertaining. However, I wouldn't trust BoJo as far as I could punch him. He's broken many promises to all sorts of people, such as to Lord Black, who owned The Spectator. BoJo promised he wouldn't stand for Parliament, and they did. The one thing I do think BoJo was honourable about was Brexit. As they say, he wrote 2 articles, one pro-Brexit, one anti-Brexit, before making up his mind, because as a wise and sensible man, he's going to weigh the arguments. And I don't think any rational person could say on this Brexit debate that there were no decent arguments whatsoever on the other side. So he felt a bit conflicted about it, but he had to make a choice, and make a choice he did. And another thing is a skilled debater, and he was president of the Oxford Union, would know that he must fully comprehend the other side's line of reasoning in order to be able to demolish it. And that's what he did. So BoJo has a reasonable chance. Who are the other possibilities? People talk about Amber Rudd, but she's got a wafer-thin majority in a constituency. What an embarrassment it would be if she was Prime Minister and then she was voted out. People tend to like famous MPs representing them, and the leader of a party almost always has his or her vote go up in that constituency, even though their party's doing badly. David Davis, but again, he's possibly too old. He's too dull. I mean, he's born in 1948, about the only MP in the 40s who's a contender for party leadership. And then who does that leave? Michael Gove, I think he's a filthy toad and nobody likes him. He's got no backing in the party. Philip Hammond, again, he's blandness personified. A bit old. I mean, no one is a Hammond fan. He's not terrible. He was an anti-Brexiteer. But as Brexit will be completed, perhaps that'll be a non-issue by that stage. Anyway, somebody younger. People have talked about Liz Truss. I can't think who else there'll be. More names will come to mind. So BoJo, what percentage chance do I give him becoming leader? About 30%. It would be hilarious. But I think he could be a passable Prime Minister, because I suppose he's finally grown up at the age of almost 60.